are our seed potatoes. We're gonna be planting the red Norland. And I went ahead already and started to cut the seed potatoes I had in half where there were multiple eyes and sprouts, tubers coming off of them. So I've got them separated into this muffin tin here, and I'm gonna let them dry a little bit so they can scab over before they get planted. But I bought these seed potatoes like a month and a half ago, and these tubes have just been growing in their bag. And we have the white superiors.
Yep.
You can see how they look. So I got several eyes coming off these seed potatoes. They come in packs of 8, but if you cut where the eyes are, you get a lot more than 8. Thumbs up. So you can just see how many you get out of one pack. So when you get your seed potatoes, don't just plant the whole thing. Cut them where the eyes are. And this is gonna be our little experiment. I had this bag of North Dakota Red potatoes. I think we got them from Aldi. And so the ones still in the bag that haven't been cooked, you can see they've got some nice sprouts happening. So I'm gonna cut these. Not all of them have sprouts. These ones, the eyes are there, but they didn't grow anything in the bag. But the ones in this baggie, so a couple months ago, I cooked these potatoes, and there were little eyes on these potatoes I cooked. And when I was peeling them, they probably looked like this. So what I did is I saved that little piece of scab and stuck it in this plastic bag with a paper towel. And after time, they ended up growing like this. So you can save your food scraps and plant them. And we have the Kennebec. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
All right, Kennebec seed potatoes from Wooster, Ohio. This is a big bag, 10-pound bag. Wow. Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Hi, honey. Hello. So we're allowing all of the sweet potatoes we cut into individual slices with their eyes to callus over. It's going to take about 2 to 4 days. And once they have a firmer callus on the outside, they'll be ready for planting. If we did it right now, the potato would definitely most likely rot out and bugs would get into it. It's really soft, just like when you cut a normal potato for cooking. It's soft and damp. So we need it to get a little firm callus over it, like this one here has a firmer callus. This has been sitting in a bag in my pantry for a couple of months. So you can just see the difference from that and that. We need them to look a little bit more like this before we go ahead and plant them in the dirt.
This is AJ Styles' team, and then this is the Exalted one from AEW, and this is from the Young Bucks. And
what are they doing in there? Are you having a graveyard match?
Yep, we're having a graveyard match.
So who's in the graveyard?
AJ Styles, his teammates, and the Exalted one.
What's going to happen next? Are they going to get out of their grave?
The Undertaker is going to leave them to die.
So what we're doing here is mounding the rows where the potatoes are going to be planted. There are a variety of ways you can do this, but we put our hills about a foot high, and we're going to continue to put straw on top of the potatoes as they continue to grow. It helped us to keep a rope tied so we can have straight lines. It's really easy to have crooked lines, and it's not, not that important, but trying to keep everything symmetrical and it seemed to help and work pretty good. Just had 2 stakes in the ground with a rope tied across, and we eyeballed it, so we made sure our rows were straight. Okay, what's going on? Who's here?
The Undertaker, he buried all the guys.
Okay.
Who are AJ Styles,
Okay.
Luke Gallows,
Uh-huh.
is Matt Hardy.
Oh no. And is Undertaker, did he win? Why is he stuck up in the bulldozer?
He won, and he's like, "Bleh." Yeah.
What happens now? Do they come up like zombies?
Yeah, there's some.
Ah! Shaking the poop. Shaking the poop. You don't like my poop dance? I like my poop dance. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. So went ahead and put landscape fabric down on top of the potato rows. Nothing's in the ground yet, and we will fill out the rest of them. So this is the landscape fabric that we're using to cover the rows of potatoes. This is a 3 foot by 50 foot roll. Got these on sale at a local hardware store called Busy Beaver for $5 a roll. That's why we went ahead and purchased these. This fabric is only going to last us this season, and I'm not going to leave it in ground after the season's done. It's all going to be taken out. This fabric is known to rip apart really easily and disintegrate, and kind of if you're thinking about using something like this landscape fabric for a long-term solution, there are more heavy-duty options that can be reused year after year. It's something I might consider investing in the future. So it took about 2 full rolls to do this space here. I see that. The reason that we put bricks down is just to hold it down while we got the spacing right. And I do have landscape fabric pins that I'm gonna push along here.
Yeah, even when it's close to summer, because it's spring.
It's spring.
And in a month and 21 days, it's gonna be summer, and it's already cold.
A little bit longer than 21 days, but you're close.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been a couple days. So update on the potatoes. They have calloused over. So we are ready to go ahead and put them in the ground in like 4 days. I'm gonna use this torch to burn some holes in the fabric, the landscape fabric that we put down. Hopefully it'll work. All right, start with the first hole here. This is just a basic propane torch. Woo! That worked pretty good. Like 12 inches right here, let's say. I guess that'll work. So I'm spacing the potatoes 12 inches apart. So now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna dig my hole. I didn't really consider that with this landscape fabric, using it for potatoes. I need to dig down like 6 inches. Let's see what I can accomplish here. I think a bigger hole or a smaller shovel. Or I could just, that's true, I could just kind of, who needs a shovel when you got a hand? All right, 6 inches. That's what that looks like. Do seed potatoes in each hole, just because I've got so many. No more than 3. So 1. You want the sprouts to be pointing upwards. We'll do 2. Those are kind of big. Maybe I'll just do 2 in that one. I'm gonna cover it up, back up. All right. This soil is so warm. Oops. It's kind of hard to do this with this fabric cover. I don't know if I like it or not. All right, I'll cover that one up. I'm gonna put 2 in that one too. Do the rest of these and see how it goes. Planting that first row was okay. I did end up taking the torch and making these holes bigger. It was just getting really difficult to stick my hand down in there. I'm still not sure on how this is gonna go with the weed fabric. I mean, this might be more work. It's like, I know when it's harvest time, I'm gonna have to pull that all up to dig all the potatoes out. I don't know. If you tried this, what I'm doing, let me know how it went for you so I know what to expect. I'm just gonna try it this year, you know, and it'll be what it is. Either way, there's gonna be potatoes that grow. I'm working on planting these red Norland sweet potatoes. So these ones grew really long tubers while they were still in the bag. So I'm going deeper than 6 inches for these just because I want that whole tuber to be completely covered by dirt. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, see how this is now down in there, and when I cover it, it's going to be covered with soil. But when you're growing the potatoes, you want to make sure that if you have really long tubers like these, that they're completely covered when you're burying them. Don't leave any of it out. Because all these little nubs and nodules on here are going to produce like roots of their own that are going to go into the soil and branch out, and that's where your potatoes are going to grow off of. So you need to make sure that this whole thing is completely covered. So you're going to have to bury them real deep. Apologize if we got some bad sound here, but I did want to show what we got going on. We got the lawnmower going in the background too, so it's kind of noisy right now and it's windy. So I've got this row here to the break, here and here, the Kennebec White potatoes. In this row here and here are the white superior. This one, there's 4 holes here, and that whole row there are the red Norland, and that last row right there is the called North Dakota Reds, which were my pantry potatoes that sprouted from the pantry, and I'm gonna see how those come up. And with the space that's left, I might try sweet potatoes. Working with this landscape fabric for the potatoes was kind of annoying, actually. I'm hoping that it reaps the reward of not having to deal with weeds so much, but I am just nervous, like at the end of the season when it's time to harvest, and how much of a pain it's gonna be with the landscape fabric. I could potentially rip it out now, but it's kind of an experiment I want to do. I did potatoes a few years ago. That whole summer I had tons of weeds. I just didn't have time to like keep up with the weeds, so this is why I'm doing it this way now. I might have done a huge waste of time, but I don't know, a couple months we'll see what happens. So I have have 28 sweet potato slips here of the Georgia Jet variety, and I'm about to plant them. This is going to be a little new endeavor for me. Never done sweet potatoes before, but I'm going to try it out and see what happens. And I got this from a local feed store. It was a bundle for $7.95, and I just separated them all, and I was like, wow, there's 28 here, so that's gonna be a lot of sweet potatoes. Kind of similar planting to the regular potatoes. They should be spaced 12 inches apart and dug down a depth of about 6 inches or so. From what I read online, is you bury them up to where their leaves are, and so like this much, I guess, would stick out. And then you water them pretty thoroughly. These guys need a good watering because they're drying out. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I was able to get 20 of the sweet potato slips planted in this space. They look pretty puny right now. I gotta water them, and you can see there's new growth already started on me. So these should perk up probably the next week or so, but I gotta water them. Well, hopefully this works and we have sweet potatoes this year. I hope this video helped you see a start to finish process on how to prep your potatoes and prepare your planting space, plant the potatoes, and everything in between that. Just a quick few takeaways. If you have potato seeds, you want to cut them so the eyes are on their own little piece. You can get a lot of eyes and tubers growing out of one potato seed, so keep that in mind. And also, you always want to make sure your potato seeds have calloused over. So after you cut them, wait about 2 to 4 days or so it gets like a thicker texture on the outside. When you're planting them, you want them to be deep, so 6 to 8 inches, and typically you'll mulch on top as well. In my garden tours, I will provide updates on how the potatoes are going. You can see the progress and how they grow and what I do and how it's working with the landscape fabric. I think it'll be okay. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share and subscribe. Your views help me make more content. So if you like this video, please share it. And I really do hope that it helped you learn how to start some potatoes. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.